And welcome back to another developer interview on the channel. So fun that people continue to reach out to me and say, hey, I want to be interviewed by you. Somehow, in some way, I seem to have attracted attention to some solo devs, and I'm excited to talk to my next guest here. You may remember a game that I played during Steam Next Fest. I talked about this, and I realized I screwed up the name after talking to this man I have in front of me here. It's called Koboo The Tree Spirit, and I have with me Jerome Labelle. That is how you say your name, correct?
Yep, that's it.
Yeah,
Yep.
he is the developer, not the only developer on this game, but he is the lead developer of Koboo the Tree Spirit, and we're gonna talk about his experience, where he came from, how it's going, talk about the other games he's created, and then get into the game itself. Well, also talking about the Kickstarter, which is live right now, and
Yes.
right now while you're listening to this video, go to the Kickstarter page right now and pour all of your money into this
Yes,
game
absolutely.
because
There's the
not
one thousand
only
dollar tiers gotta get filled by
there you go,
somebody.
you got to do it. So not only will you be supporting Jerome and his dream, but you will also be supporting an amazing cause, which we will talk about when we get to the Kickstarter portion. But Jerome, thank you for joining me today. How you doing, man?
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Like
Yeah, this is
I've
great.
I've loved the channel. Like I love seeing like people kind of start off and like get their footing. And like your stuff is already amazing. I'm sure that there'll be a point when like I mean I show it to people like already and like I enjoy it myself. So like it could like take off at any point. You never know.
Dude, yeah,
But
thanks.
like, even
Yeah.
if it doesn't, it's still like amazing. Like I appreciate and I enjoy I watch. So like it doesn't matter. Like it's
Yeah.
already great the way it is.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. That warms the heart. Warms the
Yeah.
heart. I don't have a heart of stone, but it warms the heart, of course. But in any
Yeah.
case, yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. So
Yeah.
yeah, let's. Where did you come from? You're a young man by my standards, and so, but you've already done some impressive things already. So talk about how you got into the whole game dev thing. Where did you start? What were you doing before you started all
Okay.
this?
So I did actually start game dev like super young. I was like 9 when I made my first Game Maker game. And I just like immediately I showed it off to like my friends and stuff. I used like the really basic drag and drop stuff in Game Maker to like learn. I was
Yeah.
super young. And then eventually like over time as like I became a teenager and stuff like I like started getting more interest in the more like complex programming stuff and the full languages. And I would like keep wanting to make my games bigger and stuff like that, like for my friends to play.
Yeah.
Usually it was like for my friends and family or like my brother Simon, who's now like helping me with game stuff. So we do a lot of stuff together. Um, we would just like play games and like talk about other indie games, and just like compare them or say what we like about them, and then we'd want to like add stuff that we like and from games we played to like our own games and like make our own stuff, right? So it's that
Yeah.
kind of cycle that I kept doing as like a teenager. Then yeah, I went to university. I studied like as soon as I turned 18 actually, I like signed up to do all my tax stuff and information on Steam because I really wanted to be a Steam developer like as
Oh,
soon as I
okay.
could be.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. And actually my first project was on like Steam Greenlight. Although
Oh, yeah.
yeah, so that was like a long time ago. I think it was in 2016 maybe.
Does that still
Um
exist? Does Steam Greenlight exist?
well, it doesn't like you could like there's kind of old remnants of it online like but you can't really like visit the projects but you can kind of like see like part of the page of Steam Greenlight
Yeah.
but like technically
I
yeah.
remember when Steam Greenlight was announced and I heard people talk
Hmm.
about it and how it was good, but there was a lot of stuff that flooded Steam Greenlight
Yes,
and
absolutely. Yeah. Well,
um
it's because like you just pay once and then you can just upload as many games as possible. So then people just pay $100. They could just upload like a bunch of spam games or random games.
that's what I remember hearing. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember it was just a sea of nonsense
yeah,
and they're like,
yeah,
"Nope,
yeah.
can't do this anymore."
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. But so eventually, like, I think it's because like the idea is that it was like kind of curated, but then eventually just every game would kind of come through on it. You
Okay.
know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
over
yeah.
time, they would eventually just be like, "Oh, we'll just like let you." release it anyways, you know. So that's why there ended up being so much spam that went through that. I
Yeah.
think my game was kind of like that. There's like some interest. I had this game called Heroes of High Realm, and that was kind of like what became like this game now. So
Oh,
it like
okay.
completely changed, and like it's technically the same. Like because that project got greenlit, like I used that same sort of like template or like same page to like I kept updating it and it eventually became Koboo The Tree Spirit because it was like an action
Does that game still
platformer.
exist? The original
No, it
version?
does it does
Okay,
still
it's good.
exist, yeah.
I was like, man,
But
I'll search for it and throw it up. Like,
well,
it's
yeah, there is like gifs of it online and like some prototypes and stuff like that, but
okay.
it is super old and like yeah, I definitely kind of like did so many like reworks. So eventually as soon as I studied some stuff related to game dev, like because cognitive science has like psychology and computer science, so that's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
related to game design stuff, like kind of
Okay.
indirectly.
Yeah, yeah.
And cinema studies too, yeah, for just like the art and style and like learning about different directors and stuff and how they work. It's kind of similar with game dev, right? Like
Yeah.
that same sort of thing that you do with research. Yeah, so once once I graduated, it was like 2 years ago that I graduated. I guess like a bit more than 2 years ago now. So as soon as I graduated, I like went full time. Like I had already had like stuff set up. So as soon as I graduated, like I released like my first game 2021. That was Crash the Core. It was like a roguelike deck builder. It was like a
Right.
card
Yeah.
based, yeah, it was based on a card game I've been working on like and playing with my brother for like a really long time.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, I bet you I could put this idea and like make it into an actual game
Yeah.
like on my computer because I already had that experience. So it was originally a card game, but eventually I turned it into like an actual game. And then when I like learned about like Slay the Spire and like that whole wave of roguelike deck builders,
Yeah, there
although
was
it
a
was like just
ton of them.
happening. Yeah,
Yeah,
there was
that
a ton of them. Yeah, like I was like so I was kind of like it took so long for the idea to like get off the ground that it kind of
mhm.
came on like a bit later after that trend like went on, you know?
Was Slay the Spire the
Yeah.
to use a comparison, is Slay the
Mm.
Spire the Hades of the deck building genre? If that makes
The
sense.
Hades. I
Is
feel
it
like Hades. I feel like Hades is actually.
or is it
I
or is Slay the Spire the Hollow Knight of the deck building world?
I think it's more like the Hollow Knight. I think
Okay.
that's a better comparison. I feel like it kind of, but you know, it might even be more like. I think it's almost more like kind of like original almost than Hollow Knight. Like it design wise, it did stuff
Mm.
that was really interesting. You know, like it had some
Yeah.
great polish and stuff in its design, and like there was like similar stuff before, but I feel like Hollow Knight kind of almost like took a lot of stuff that's already been done, but just did it to like amazingly well. I mean,
Right.
like,
Yeah,
do you know
that's
what
what
I
I
mean?
that's
Yeah,
well,
like
that's what I tell
execute it
people. I
inside of
say
it.
like
Yeah,
Hollow Knight changed how people did Metroidvanias, just like how
yeah,
people changed how they did roguelikes when Hades came out. So those were two, even though there
yeah,
were tons of games that came before them, they were kind of
yeah.
genre defining. They're kind of like big defining
Absolutely.
moments in the industry at the time. And
But yeah, I think the difference is that I feel like Slade Spire almost did a bit more of like creating or like kind of like you know what I mean? Like kind of more of
yeah.
spawning a genre. Whereas Hollow Knight, it probably like did more of a revival of the genre, if that makes
Okay, yeah,
sense.
that makes more
You
sense.
know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever play Wild Frost or what's it? There's a
Oh,
rat
I've
one.
seen that. Is Wild Frost like the one like that the kind of like it's like a roguelike deck builder?
It's a
That's
yeah, it's a roguelike deck builder. I think
yeah.
I played the demo of it
Is
on the
that was it
channel.
good? I
It
don't
was fine.
I've seen
Uh,
it, but
well, me personally,
yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of the rogue of the deck builder genre.
Mm,
I think there's some cool ideas present, but it doesn't like for
yeah.
me personally, it doesn't really speak to me. But I think there's some fun
Yeah.
ideas. Like I played a few of them.
Yeah.
Like I played Wild Frost. I played Yomi 2. I didn't play Yomi 1.
Mm,
And then after this recording comes out, I'm probably gonna check out both of your games just to see, just get some footage from them and throw them up because you have that
I
one and then you
appreciate
have
that.
another game that you made as well, which is more deck builder slash tower defense. Remind me of the name of that one.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's yeah, Traveler's Bastion. That's actually
Traveler's Bastion.
it's
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. So that's the one where I started like taking on my brother, and we like partnered to do like
Yeah.
stuff where he would be programming like most of the game, and I would basically do like everything else, and we would design it together.
It looks
Um,
cool. I've watched a little bit of the trailer and some of the gameplay. It looks fun,
yeah,
and yeah, I'm gonna check it out
I
and
appreciate
probably
it.
throw up some footage for the people to see so they can get a feel for it. So yeah, it looks like a fun game. Even though the deck building genre
Mm,
isn't for me, I think there's some fun ideas present. And if you for listening
mm,
are into that, you should definitely check out both of those games. Yeah, so cool. So
yeah,
full game dev right out of college. After doing it for so long, you
yeah.
got two Steam games up here, and you said the ideas were already present for Koboo the Tree Spirit. So at what point
Yeah.
did uh after that did Koboo the Tree Spirit like really start to take form?
Okay, yeah. So I was. It actually happened like that summer that I'm pretty sure actually it was actually while I was in school actually 2020 I think. So
Okay.
it was actually before it happened that I didn't even realize how like old it was, but um like I thought it was the same year that I did Crash the Core because it like like you have it takes so long to finish a game, like you have an idea, but it usually takes like years to actually get it done.
Right,
And like
especially when
a
you're doing it by
couple
yourself.
Oh yeah, 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 for sure, yeah. And so like to get to that stage is like I'm pretty far along in like that journey for Kobu. It's like I said, like even though it became Kobu in like 2020, like it was really been in the works for like way longer because a lot of the ideas are from like that other game, Heroes of Hiram, So
Yeah.
it's like even though you never saw it, it's like you're kind of seeing the more polished version of it in like this game, right? So
Yeah. Cool. So let's talk about Kobu. All right. I did this with Dryden in my last interview. I'm
yeah.
I'm a game exec. I'm Jeff Keighley because the game war is about to come out.
Yeah.
I'm Jeff Keighley, and you see me in an elevator. Give me
Okay.
your elevator pitch for Kobu the Tree Spirit. What is it?
Okay, so it is an action roguelike where you as a tiny tree spirit fight these like giant humans and protect the forest, animals and the plants and stuff. Um, that's basically that's like basically the pitch. Like there's a lot of stuff to the game that is kind of like inspired from other genres and like um there's like elements like Metroidvanias where because the world is like handmade, you can explore with different like abilities.
Mm-hmm.
There's like farming and fishing elements, like you like help to replant the forest, and there's like there's elements of like there's a bunch of different like upgrades and weapons and stuff. So that's where like that rogue like kind of element action like comes into it as well.
Yeah. So
Um,
let's talk about that. Yeah, it's
yeah,
I believe you in some of your descriptions you described it as a roguevania. So you're mixing
yeah,
the rogue
that's
like and the
yeah,
Metroidvania. If I remember playing the demo and
yes,
I got the roguelikeness and I guess the
yeah,
exploration the Metroidvania part is it's inspired, but it's not
yeah. Well, it's
how
not
it
in the
work.
demo, but yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, all right,
Mm.
it's described as a 2D like Roguevania, but I was trying to see where the Vania part in the demo is, and you just said it's not in the demo, but it is
Yeah,
in there, and there's definitely some
yeah,
inspirations that you have from there.
yeah.
So,
And like,
um,
yeah, the full version, yeah, that's gonna be. There's like a
yeah,
whole world that's like, yeah,
I think it's
designed
cool.
for
Yeah,
it.
you were inspired. I'm scrolling down your Kickstarter page so as I can get the
Yeah,
full breath. So you were inspired by. We talked about this before we started recording. Uh, Movies like Princess Mononoke, which is
yeah,
I'm gonna full cards on the table. I have not watched Princess
yeah.
Mononoke, and I was told by the entire Lucid Discord community that I need
Mm,
I need to get on it because that's
yeah.
also a big influence for
Oh,
Lucid as
really?
well. Yeah, yeah. You
Oh,
should
yeah. I
talk to.
think I actually did see that. But
Yeah,
for me,
so
it's like even more, like more so than Lucid, because it's like for my game, it's like the whole concept is like your Kodama tree spirit. Like it's very much where the game like started.
Yeah.
Like that was like, so it is a huge inspiration for like the story and the world of it is like it's very inspired by that like Japanese folklore sort of like, like all the stories and like the sort of visuals of like the characters and stuff, it's all like very much like in that vein and style.
So what you're saying is that Princess Mononoke is required viewing for your game.
Well, yeah, I mean it's not necessarily required to
Yeah,
like
but
like yeah.
this is a
You
PSA. Watch Princess Mononoke to get an understanding
well,
of
I do
Koboo.
recommend you see it just because it's a great movie, I think.
Oh
So
yeah, I've heard nothing but
like
good
yeah.
things. And Studio
Yeah,
Ghibli, they really can't miss with their animation. It's great.
absolutely.
Yeah. So you're
Yeah, for
also
sure.
it's an interesting mix. Giving your inspirations. This is really cool to see like a lot of your
Yeah.
influences kind of come about in this game. So you got Princess Mononoke. You're inspired by Avatar: The Last Airbender, which I've seen,
Mhm.
and I can totally see that because you have different elements like your wind,
Yeah.
fire, water, and then there's lightning in there as well.
Yeah.
Animal Crossing, because who doesn't love Animal Crossing? You got your
Yeah.
animal friends hanging out, and you got several animal friends that you interact with, and then Castlevania, obviously for the Vania part.
Yeah.
And then obviously Hollow Knight, Celeste, Dead Cells, and a game I don't think I've played yet before called Dust and Elysian Tale. I don't think I've
Oh yeah.
played that one. Is
Yeah,
that
that
a
that one's kind of more like I think of like a hidden gem type of game.
okay? I'll
So
have
it
to check
was
that one out.
it was like a mostly solo dev game, which is
Okay.
like really impressive. That was like one of the first indie games that I really like fell in love with and like I was like made me be like, oh, I can like make my own like indie game like myself, you know what I mean? So that
Okay.
was like a
So
huge
that's a big one.
inspiration for, yeah, for sure. For
Okay.
and there's like it's very like Metroidvania kind of like, and there's a huge emphasis on like the action and the fighting and aerial attacks. So
Mm-hmm.
that was a big reason why that, because that's very much like what you do in the game a lot is like try to like fight people in the air and like move around quickly and like yeah, that
Yeah,
sort of
I
thing is very important.
that's a good segue into the gameplay because I enjoy the
Yeah.
gameplay. You are flying in this game.
Yeah.
You are flying. You're
Yeah.
dashing. You're going all over the place. One thing I was gonna mention before we get into it. Okay, I had a question about this game. So you're playing as a tiny tree spirit who, I can't really tell. He's a tree spirit, but he's like a mouse or a rat or something. Koboo, like a
No,
kobold.
he's well, he's like a little he's like he's kind of like an undead tree spirit.
Okay.
So because he keeps being like revived, so he has like a little cloak to kind of hide
Yeah.
his undeadness,
Okay. So you're playing as a tiny tree
Yeah.
spirit and you're fighting what
Mm,
seems to be gigantic humans. Now, my question is it
yeah.
just a perspective thing? Are the humans human sized
Yeah,
and you're
they
just
are
playing as
human
a
sized.
tiny tree spirit and all the animals are tiny
Yeah.
and it's just regular sized humans? Kind of like a Fern Gully situation. You ever watch
Yes,
Fern Gully?
exactly. It is like Fern Gully. That's like I
Cuz
didn't
that
like. I watched that movie and I also love that movie. It is kind of like has that like similarity. I watched that as a kid, so
like that's
yeah,
very I didn't even think
yeah,
about this as I was playing the game, but I thought about it today as I was
mhm.
preparing for this. And I was like, oh yeah, Fern Gully has
It is like
similar
that.
message to your game. It's
Absolutely, yeah,
yeah, humans destroying the environment, and you are trying to fight back against said humans. But yeah,
yeah.
are they regular sized humans or are they just giants?
No, no, no. It's regular sized humans, but you're a small tree spirit,
Oh,
so
okay. So it is a
yeah,
perspective thing. All right, gotcha.
it is perspective. Yeah,
That makes a whole lot of sense. Yeah. So
yeah,
knowing that, great to know. So yeah, gameplay, you're jumping around. They
mhm.
said you got the roguelike areas where you're getting different types of weapons and abilities. Talk about some
Yeah.
of the abilities that you'll be getting.
Oh yeah. So there's like the two. There are like traversal like abilities that give you mobility and abilities that allow you to like give you more like access to like jumping, like wall jumping or like gliding or things like that. So those you like unlock as you go through the story and like discover more of the world.
Hmm.
That's like one. There's like kind of like skills that you learn, and then there's also this is like where the roguelike element comes in, where as you like go on a run, you can like pick up different abilities from um like spirit animals or like different like animals in the forest, and they're like associated with an element usually like fire, wind, or lightning or whatever.
Yeah.
So they like give you one of those powers. Like there's right now we have like a wolf strike, which is pretty fun. Like just like claw and like dash
I
for
remember
real
seeing that.
damage. Yeah,
Yeah.
this the snake blink is pretty like fun as well. It's a bit crazy. You like move really fast and then wherever you land, you like deal damage to that area.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah,
That's great. Yeah, they're
yeah,
so yeah, so you get they're basically like passive movement abilities. And then you have also like attacking
yeah,
abilities. You have
exactly. Yeah.
I remember
So,
seeing an axe. I did see I think one of them I picked up was throwing stars, which look like leaves almost.
oh yeah, 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 yeah. Those, yeah. Um, that's kind of a joke between me and my brother because we always make this joke in Avatar that like there's like sharp water that like hurts people. It doesn't
Oh.
really make sense. So then we think it'd be funny if there's like sharp leaves that you throw at people to like hurt them.
Oh yeah, that I mean that
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
using the powers of nature. So sharp
Yeah,
leaves kind of
exactly.
reminds me of Gambit from X-Men. He throws throwing cards.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, it is kind of like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love it. Yeah, the one
Yeah.
thing I'll say
Yeah.
that I was like, I don't know, maybe it can be changed. Maybe a suggestion.
Oh, those, yeah, yeah, yeah.
You have to
Yeah,
pick them
definitely
up.
give it. Yeah.
Yeah,
You don't like that part, yeah.
I don't. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah.
I wish there was ability to have them come back to you, but I think it does
Oh, there is
provide it.
actually an ability that does like let it upgrade that lets him come back to you
See,
if
I
you
knew
like.
that. I see.
Yeah,
I knew you would have that somewhere. I knew there would be, but
yeah,
it does provide an element of challenge to it. So
yeah,
yeah,
mm-hmm,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm not gonna complain to you live on camera. Every time I was like, oh man, I wish there was something that could let you come back to him. So there you go, confirmed. There is an upgrade. I dig it. Yeah, there's a
Yeah,
lot of fun stuff. So
yeah.
there is a demo available right now for Koboo the Tree. For Koboo, sorry.
Mm,
How
mm,
much of the demo, how much of the content that you see is apart from
yeah.
the main
It,
game
it
mode?
is it is pretty different. Like I would
Okay.
say, I'm trying to just like get a quick little like combat slice for like and like to get an idea of kind of that core gameplay, like
Okay.
the
Yeah.
most important parts of the gameplay. So there's a lot of gameplay that's not as like key to the game or maybe like a bit more generic like the farming or like those Metroidvania elements, like things that you kind of seen before, platforming stuff. It's like all kind of stuff you've seen before. The combat is a bit more like has some unique elements to it, and we've been working on that for like a long time. So that's kind of why I wanted to show that and like get people into that core gameplay loop for the demo. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of like the purpose of it is to get that element because like the whole idea of being a small like character fighting really large, like a lot of people just think that they're all like bosses, even though technically like there's a boss
It
that's
was kind of like a
separate. But
boss
yeah,
rush. It felt
yeah,
like
yeah, it
that.
does feel like that, yeah. But it's actually designed so they're very easy. Like those enemies are usually pretty easy to kill, even though they're like pretty large and like intimidating, like towering
They
people.
are, and
Like
I think what
yeah,
makes them a lot easier is that you have put in orbs on them as crit points that you can
yeah,
hit that take them out a lot easier. So yeah, I did find that really helpful to see those
yeah,
points and just hit them and take them out a lot easier. And I do like that
yeah,
there's a good amount of enemy variety that you have. It's an
mm,
archer. There's a
yeah.
I forget what I guess
There's
there's a guy
like
with a
even
sword.
more like stuff too, like what we have, but I just haven't shown it. So
Oh,
there's like
nice.
I love designing like all I love how like each enemy can kind of create like a new challenge and like change the game. So I have like a bunch of like crazy ideas for enemies like in future stuff. So I'm pretty excited
I
to
dig
show
it.
that
What you
stuff.
had
But
so far is great. I mean, it's
yeah,
like, is the guy throwing lightning? And then there was a guy, I
yeah,
think he was throwing shurikens. So maybe I
yeah,
was
yeah,
fighting
yeah,
a
yeah. There's
ninja.
like a rogue. Yeah,
I was
hmm,
like, oh
yeah,
my gosh, there's a lot of enemies going on here. And
yeah,
I dig it. I was digging all of them. And it's a tough
yeah,
challenge to kind of figure out the flow of combat. And like any
yeah,
roguelike, you can have a good run or a bad one based on what you pick. So It's
Yeah,
fun. I do enjoy that, and I can't wait to
yeah,
explore more and get more into the Vania part of the game once we get past
yeah.
all of the combat. Um, will there be at this current time because the demo's available, will there be an update to the demo at all? And to
Yeah, oh yeah, we're like we just been like my brother's been doing because he's doing programming mostly now, so he's
okay,
just been like working a lot, and we've been talking about it a lot, like designing it, like we're watching like videos like yours and like thinking about the feedback, like seeing how you play it and being like, okay, how can we kind of make this a bit smoother, you know? So we're like really gonna work on polishing that as much as we can, and then bring that to the like because it's the core gameplay loop, right? So we really want to get
right,
that right then we
yeah,
can bring that to like the full game and I can kind of put it into all the world and stuff that I've already made for the full game and yeah that I think that so there's definitely going to be updates and I hope it'll improve the game a lot when it's come
yeah.
out so
That's awesome. Go cool.
yeah
So with
mm-hmm.
that being said, as you're continuing to cook, you do have a Kickstarter that is live right
yes
now that people can go to, and all the things that we've talked about already, you can go to the Kickstarter page and look at all of them, which is it's quite an impressive Kickstarter page. I'm scrolling through it and
oh
very good
thank you
work on creating that page. I'm sure
thanks
I I don't know anything about creating a Kickstarter page, but from what I've heard, it's not
yeah
an easy task.
yeah I mean it has taken basically like 3 years to get this done so yeah it does it definitely takes time
Yeah,
and consistency and work yeah
no, it's going good, man. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
so you have obviously with any Kickstarter, you have several tiers that you have going on.
Yes.
Explain kind of some of your tiers and some of the rewards you're getting with them. You don't have to explain all of them,
Oh
but maybe
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
some of the
Um,
ones that are more, I guess, more relevant or something like that.
yeah. Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, so there are like ones that are the first there's still I'm pretty sure it's still available like the like a discount of the game. It's like a really discounted version of the game.
The early bird
So
discount.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's still available. So that's definitely something that I would get if I because it's like a super discount version of the game. It's almost like half price of like the full game. So when it's out, so it's like really for it's like a really good deal on it. I feel like
I did that, by the way.
so huh?
I backed you. I did that.
Yeah, you got that. That's
Yeah.
great. Yeah,
So I'm in.
yeah,
I'm
it's
in
a really
there.
good deal.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, so uh, the other the other ones are like there's stuff that's just like some Kickstarter exclusive stuff.
Hmm.
Like there's gonna be like a little like bug companion that follows you around. That's like
Oh, nice.
exclusive to Kickstarter. So like we're working on like we want to have like some variety in it. So there's like a bee and a worm and like a beetle and just like fun little things like that to follow
Okay.
you around. Because it's a perspective thing, right? Like they look
Right.
like a bit they
Yeah.
look like
Yeah.
a bit bigger and more noticeable and they're like little pets to your character. Yeah.
That's fun.
So yeah. Then there's also like a glider which you can use. It'll have like some like particle trails and look a little like special for the Kickstarter.
Sweet. Yeah.
So I'm like wanting to. I'm still kind of working on that a little bit, and I'm gonna show it on the page. But like I haven't been able to finish that yet. I've just been doing a lot of more like marketing focus and stuff right now first, and then I'm gonna have like a bit more details about those rewards up.
Yeah. That's
Show
great.
some visuals. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a
Um.
bunch of them. And creating the biggest one here is called Creator of the Ancients, and you can
Oh yeah.
design and name a character, and got a
Yeah.
bunch of other things regarding that. But I think that's your biggest one. So hey,
Yeah.
if anyone's listening, drop a drop it, do
Yeah.
it. You can do
If
it.
you can afford to, yes. If
Doesn't
you can
matter. I don't
afford
care if you put it on credit.
to.
Put it on credit. But yeah, so cool. Let's talk about the biggest thing. We didn't really talk much about the story, but I wanted to wait until we got to this point to talk about the
Mm,
story. So the story
I do.
of Koboo, you're in the ancient forest, and I guess I'm gonna read. I'm gonna read what you wrote.
Okay, yeah.
It says years ago, humans lived in harmony with nature. That was until the wars broke out between them and the factions clawed for any advantage they could obtain over each other. Seeking resources, the humans tore down the forest and cut down the ancient tree that Koboo was sworn to protect. Koboo and the humans are now cursed to fight in a seemingly endless battle for survival. The spirit of the forest, continues to keep Koboo alive until his service is complete. So heavy emphasis, and we talked about Ferngully, heavy emphasis on industrialization, deforestation, very heavy environmentalist message that you have going on there. That you are a spirit trying to save the forest from us, the most dangerous animal of all, man. And so, but what's great under the funding section of your Kickstarter page is that you have a little pie chart that says of what all the percentages of the funds are going to. And a big one, 10% is going to the Amazon Conservation Team donation. So talk a little bit about what that is and how you've partnered with this Amazon Conservation Team for your game.
Yeah. So I've been like doing so I've first of all like I wanted to it was like important to me if I had like an environmental message to
Mm-hmm.
kind of like for myself like personally like I just want to I feel like it would I would be honoring that message more if I could like have a like direct impact on like trying to help like you know um like rainforest conservation like effort as much as I could, you know. So
Yeah.
this is kind of a way that I could do that, and I did like a lot of research and like talked to different people, and I like reached out to them about doing the campaign, and they were like, "Oh yeah, that's amazing! Like we support it for sure." So um, that was really great. Like they had a great response to it, and I knew that they're doing like really good like work. So that's like out of all I did like a lot of research on different places to like see which one kind of has the like it's kind of like people like trust and know will like do good work, and they definitely seem really good. So I'm pretty happy to be partnered with them, and
That's
I'm
great.
excited. Like I really hope it gets funded so I can donate and make a difference as much as I can. Right,
We just need
everyone
five
can.
people to donate $1,000. and
Yeah.
then there you go. Yeah, but that's great.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate the fact that, as you said, you did your due diligence in researching an
Mm,
organization that's actually doing what it says. And I'm not going to get into the controversies that people have heard about recently, but
yeah.
make sure you do what you or say you're going to do. But in any case, yeah, I appreciate that you also have a donation link that you can donate to them directly
Yes. Yeah.
to this
Absolutely.
Amazon conservation team. So yeah, that's great that you have real world implications that you are providing for
Hmm.
a team to help preserve the Amazon and help prevent deforestation and things like that. And you
Yeah.
have that message in there. One of the things I think I talked about with Dryden, because he also, I don't know if you've talked to him at all, but his game
No.
Lighthoof
I
is
haven't.
also has a environmentalist message in it as well. I think
Oh.
both of your games kind of remind me of Ori and the Blind Forest, mostly because that's fresh
Oh
in my
yeah.
brain as well. I've been playing that a
Absolutely.
lot, and I,
Yeah.
I love it, and that's very much has an environmental message in it
Yeah.
as
Absolutely.
well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I appreciate both you and Dryden, while having that message not being overly heavy handed. You have a great game that you're
Mm.
creating and it's fun to play, but you also have the message of, hey, you know, let's
Yeah.
help take care of the planet that we live on. I think that's a good
Yeah.
idea. That's not
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Yeah.
I think it's I think it would be worth our while to do that. So,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
good on you for doing that, man. I appreciate that. That's great.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's some good music. I was kind of listening to some music from your page. Who did you write that music yourself? Because before we
Yeah.
started recording, you talked about that you are a musician yourself, and as people
Yeah.
can see, you have a guitar in your background. So obviously,
Oh yeah. I
if you have
didn't
a
realize
guitar
that
in the
until the image.
background,
Yeah.
you are a
Yeah.
musician. So that's
Yes. Yeah. For sure. Although there's not any guitar in those soundtracks yet, but I definitely want to record something. So it's actually more like keyboard and like MIDI stuff that I've been working on, and like like virtual instruments and stuff. I want to get some like I have some live musician friends. I definitely like to get some people on that and record some stuff. I think that would sound like really good.
yeah.
Um, Yeah, I've been. It's like one of my like favorite parts. Like it's like doesn't even feel like work or like anything at all when I'm working on music. Like I've
Yeah.
loved doing that for the game. Like that's been super fun. So I'm just really excited to make like a bunch more tracks, and I'm happy you like them because like it's something I've put a lot of like work into. I've been like working Ableton stuff for a really long time too. That's what I use.
Oh yeah,
Um,
Ableton's great.
yeah, yeah. So um, I'm happy to be able to like release more stuff. I haven't really released that much stuff, so I'm like excited to actually show people more stuff that I do because I
Yeah.
kind of made stuff myself. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah,
Um,
you're cooking. I dig it. I dig it, man. It's going good.
yeah,
I enjoy that. Yeah,
that's
so
great.
yeah, you got the Kickstarter, that is up. You've got the Amazon conservation team.
Oh,
So
yeah, also
oh,
really
go
quick,
ahead.
a lot of the songs, like one of them is like super inspired by Celeste by Lena Raine.
Oh
That's like
yes,
one of
love
my
that.
I love that soundtrack
It's
so
so
much,
good. It's so
and
good,
like
man.
like she's like amazing. Like it's like one of my biggest inspirations. So like you definitely hear that there, but I would definitely recommend that people like want some good video game music to check it out
Oh
because
yeah,
it's really
one
good.
hundred percent.
Yeah.
Actually, myself, maybe I'll send it to you. But
Mm-hmm.
I was inspired by one of the tracks that is from that
Oh yeah.
OST that I made. I forget. It's escaping me right now, but I'll send it to you
Oh,
after this
that's
stuff.
great.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, Celeste, one of the all
Yeah.
time greatest video
Oh,
game
absolutely.
soundtracks.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lena Raine.
Yeah.
She's fantastic, man. I remember after completing Celeste, I was like, I just want to listen to the soundtrack.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's a great soundtrack without, as you're playing the game, but there's the element of stress of playing Celeste.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, yeah.
after the game is done, and like, I just want to listen to the soundtrack because it's
Mm.
so relaxing. It's so cool, and I've seen a fair amount of people use the soundtrack of Celeste in their videos as well because it's just great
Oh yeah.
music to use. So yeah,
Yeah. Nice.
excellent. So when your Kickstarter is complete and when it's full, I said when it's fully funded. So when it is fully funded, um,
Yes.
when can we inspect the full release?
Okay, yeah, so that's gonna be probably like summer of next year. Like I have like late June, like July.
Okay.
Um, a lot of the core stuff is there, but like, it takes, I don't know if you heard this, but it does take like so long to polish that last like bit of a game,
Oh
and
yeah.
work on those details. So I'm really like giving myself a lot of time to do that. I do want to have like an early access release, so it's not going to be like the complete game, but most of the stuff that the important stuff is going to be there. And I want to like I want to do an early access just to kind of like make sure like get rid of any bugs, and like it's kind of hard to do like just full, especially when you're indie, to do like testing
Yeah.
just myself until the game is like actually out. So I
Right.
haven't done early access before, but my other releases kind of had some bugs and issues. So I feel like if I can get an early access and kind of get rid of some of those earlier on and like fix those before the release, then um, I can like have like a good full release in like a couple months after probably.
I mean, there have been some
So
games that have been in early access that when they came out, they were fantastic. I mean,
yeah,
some big examples. Hades was in early
oh yeah,
access before it went 1.0, and you know how well that did.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Baldur's Gate 3 was actually in early access
yeah.
for a
I know about
while,
that.
for like a long while, and then
Yeah,
it's probably going to win Game of the Year. It's,
yeah, absolutely, yeah,
so I think there is tremendous merit to going into early access because, like you said, you'll have a lot of people able to play it and then give you the feedback that you need.
yeah, yeah.
Hopefully it's positive. Hopefully it's, even though if it's negative, hopefully it's constructive
Oh yeah,
criticism. You
it's
know,
almost always constructive. It's like I've had
yeah,
only constructive like criticism before for my other stuff, so
that's great.
it's been really helpful on Steam. Yeah.
I cannot stand it when people play games and they're like, game sucks. Like, well, what about it? Sucks. I was like, it just sucks. I'm like, okay, you're not helping, especially when it comes to MD devs. I was like, they need to hear like actual criticism and hopefully, if you parse
Yeah.
through it, you can take it to heart and just fix whatever you need to fix.
Yeah. No,
So
but I found that like that's pretty rare. Like I've only had like really helpful people. Like people like you that genuinely like want to make the game better. Like there's been so many people like that online in different communities that have just been like so helpful. Even like Steam forums and stuff have been like
Yeah.
amazing for my other games. Like everyone, as soon as you respond and talk to them, they're like just like so happy. And like I'm so happy to be talking to the players. Like I wish more people went on the forums and like talked about the game and like because like I love it. Like I love responding to people. It's like not a problem for me at all to do that. Like so I hope that that happens for the next game. There's keep that dialogue going because
Yeah.
yeah,
Do you
I
think
love doing
you'll
it.
do you think you'll go into do any devlogs or any streaming or
Oh yes, yeah.
anything to
So I
like
have
update
streamed
people
before.
as we go?
Yeah,
Y-
I have streamed before,
Okay.
and I want to start creating some videos. Like I already have videos, like I'm sure you have this as well, that are like I've some stuff I kind of scrapped or like didn't want to do, or like stuff that's
Yeah.
really close to being out that like
Yeah, yeah.
people haven't seen, but like it could be released pretty soon. So,
Right.
I think it's the Kickstarter has been the focus really mainly, so that's kind of why I haven't been able to do more content about that. So like now that it's out and I have a bit more time to and also my brother is now handling the demo stuff more, so that gives
Sweet.
me way more time. So and probably like pretty soon, next couple weeks or like months, I'm gonna have some content out for dev vlogs and information on it
I
for
love it.
sure. So
Yeah, also I forgot to mention this. Yeah, your brother Simon is working on this. And that I think
hmm
that's great that you guys
yeah,
you got you guys are able to grow close together as brothers and work on a
absolutely,
project together. I think that's a great dynamic. I don't have any
yeah,
siblings myself, but um,
uh,
if I did, I would. That would be fun to do. Like, do something that you
yeah,
guys both love, and hopefully you
yeah.
guys haven't had any huge fights during
No,
in the
no,
process.
we're like we get along. I mean, like of course we have arguments, like of
Yeah,
course we do, but we're really good at like listening and like working through them, you know.
that's
So
good because
we've
you.
always been close.
I'm
It's
sure you've
easy for
heard
us,
the
I think.
phrase "never go into business with family."
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, we just like we've always been close and spent so much time together. So
Yeah.
like I think we just like love these games. Like I think that maybe that's true if the business is so important to you, like if the money and all that stuff's the main thing, then I
Right.
think that kind of makes sense. But when it's like a passion project we both love that we're like working on, it doesn't
Hmm.
really feel like we're like just going into business together. It feels more like we're like working on this thing that we both love.
Yeah.
Like why would we? It's like an exciting, fun thing for us. So it's not like, you know, there's hasn't been problems with that. It's been great.
That's
I think.
great. Also, also, happy birthday, because I think you release.
Yeah.
I remember seeing this on the Steam page, but the Kickstarter released
Well,
on your birthday.
it wasn't actually on our birthday. But my birthday's coming up though. It's like
Oh,
coming up
okay.
really soon. So my friend um or my cousin, he gave me like a huge donation, and he was
Oh,
like, "Okay, this is also part of your birthday present as
oh, okay.
well."
That's
You
great.
know?
Yeah,
So he was like he also like loves the game and is so excited about it. So like, but he also just like said, you know, he wanted that you just wanted to like say that as well. So it is like coming up, but it's on November 30th. So it's gonna happen during the campaign. And also my brother's birthday's on the 28th. So it's all like
oh
coming up
snap.
like during the campaign. So it's not like completely like, you know,
So if
it,
you want to make Jerome and Simon's birthday the best birthday that they've ever had, give them the best Thanksgiving, Christmas of all time, what we need to do is we need to get Koboo the Tree Spirit funded beyond 100%. I'm not just talking 100, we're talking like 500% funded. Let's do it. Let's do it because not only are you giving them the best birthday present they're having, supporting their dream, but you're also providing a lot of good support for a very good cause by helping this team at the Amazon conservation
yeah,
team to help prevent deforestation and help conserve the Amazon and help
yeah,
save the planet they live on. Yeah,
yeah,
please
and yeah,
do that.
they do
Yeah,
like a lot of like good work, like making sure they're working with local people, indigenous people, and like that whole dialogue is like really important to them. So like yeah, they do. I definitely trust them to like make a difference with that money, you know. So
great,
I'm happy, yeah, with that.
cool,
Hmm.
man. Well, yeah, I think that's gonna do it for today.
Yeah.
Unless there's what is there? Do you want to have the
Yeah.
final word? You want anything else you want to say before we get out of
Mm.
here? Before I can.
Um, I think you basically like hit all the most important things. Like I would say that, oh yeah, to join my Discord, that's like a big thing because
Yeah. Yes.
I've like it hasn't been like the most active, even though like I love talking on there and like um I think it's because like maybe when like there's demo updates and we focus more on the game itself, I think then there'll be like a lot more to talk about.
Yeah.
But right now it's just been me like working on the demo stuff. So definitely join that Discord. Um, that's like in the link of the Kickstarter and on my Twitter and stuff, so you can definitely find that.
Mm-hmm.
But that would be like the main thing to do. And like also like if you want to like talk to me, I would even like get in a call or talk to like anyone about games or like to do playtesting or whatever. I like love to do that. So and that I have way more time to do that now that my brother's doing game dev stuff. So like for sure, if anyone wants to talk to me, I'm happy to.
Well, you heard it here
Mhm.
first, folks. If
Yeah.
you want to live get in touch with Jerome and talk to him in person, see his wonderful face, get his opinions, and shout your frustrations at him. Please do so. join join his Discord. Support the project. Support Koboo The Tree Spirit because I think it's gonna be a great game. It's gonna come out sometime next year that has a great environmentalist message, and you're helping supporting a great cause. Jerome, thank you so much for, and reaching out, and thanks so much for letting me interview you. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks so much for telling us your
Yeah.
story, and I can't wait to see how much this game grows and
Thanks.
yeah, and where we go from here. Thanks so much for coming out. And I will put a link to all of your stuff in the description of this video. So click the link.
Thank
Hope you did. Hope you looked at everything that we have looked at, that we've been talking about, and I think this is gonna be a great game. Like I said before, love supporting indie devs like yourself. Love supporting solo devs. Love supporting you and your brother. Hope you have a great birthday. I hope you have a great holiday because I think it's gonna be great. And so yeah, if you want to know more, check out Jerome's Discord. Get at him. He's always available. He wants to talk to you, whether or not you have the best things to say. Just be nice. Be nice. Be kind. It's okay. Be kind. Constructive criticism only, please. But yeah, appreciate you so much. And I'll be back with more dev interviews. If you're a dev, by the way, listening to this video, if you're watching this video and you're a solo dev, hey, reach out to me. I would love to interview you. I'm not the biggest channel in the world, but I love talking to people and I love shouting out people's projects. So yeah, hit me up. And thank you so much for watching, listening, all the things. My name is Chike, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.
Bye.